Welcome back to Godspeed and happy Super Bowl weekend. This week, we are going to take a break from the market review, although I'm very excited to report that prices are definitely dropping. But this week, I want to bring you guys a special look at a vehicle that I showcased a little bit last week. It is this 2018 Lexus LC500 for $74,995. We're calling this one the Rowan project because the builder of this vehicle pretty much has copied the Japanese maker Rowan and customized all of their parts for the most part here. And guys, I can't wait to show you this. I'm really excited about today. So we're going to walk through this build. We're going to talk about the price. We're going to look at the market value, look at the aftermarket value, and then I'm going to give you my Godspeed grade, right? Because just because a vehicle looks amazing, you really have to ask yourself, is this something that you're willing to invest in? So with that being said, guys, let's get to it. So here we are, guys. I am excited about this vehicle because I always get a little extra specially excited when I see a customized vehicle because I'll be honest with you, it's very hard to both, acquire the parts from Japan. If you guys have ever tried to order any of these Japanese parts, you know that number one, it takes a while to get some of them in stock. And then even when they come in stock, you've got hefty shipping prices. And even when you get it here landed, the reality is that you got to find somebody that can actually install these parts properly. They're not always bolt-on. So I'm really excited about this particular one, and I'm very excited about the fact that the vehicle has actually been done by one of the first Japanese automakers called Rowan Customized Innovation, who attacked this Lexus LC when it hit the market. And I'll be honest with you, the extra pieces that have been added to the car to kind of insinuate the original design, it's going to fit some of you guys likings, but I won't lie, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But let's get into this, right? I really want to talk about it. I'm going to first just look at the price of the vehicle. Let's look at a comp, and let's talk about the difference in price here for a similarly valued vehicle without all the customized parts. So obviously this one's coming in at 74,995, and the comp vehicle is one that I showed you guys last week. It's that Lexus LC500. It's exactly like this right here, except it doesn't have any of these customized parts on it. It does have the 21 upgraded wheels from the factory, and this one has red interior, that one has black. Both of them do not have the carbon fiber. Both of these have glass tops. Both vehicles are in that 45 to 60,000 mile range. And this vehicle is actually about $11,000 more than that vehicle. And actually, because they marked the price down this week, it's actually about 12,000, well, 11,500. Okay. So when we look at this, because I'm gonna, obviously you guys can see right here, the aftermarket value on this is over $16,000 in aftermarket goodies. But I gotta tell you that at a $11,500 premium, you're absolutely paying for these parts. I will say this, you're probably getting a discount on them. But with that being said, obviously you're actually paying for these parts, okay? So what I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about these parts. Let's look at how much these break down in price. And then of course I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my Godspeed grade on this thing because I won't lie. This is a vehicle that I really wish was actually here local because I would absolutely take a look at it, take a test drive. As you guys know, if you've never driven a Lexus LC500, as amazing as they look on pictures, you really don't get that intimate connection with the vehicle until you drive it. And I'll even go so far to say that there's another level of connection once you own the vehicle. So let's look at this now. So, guys, all these parts, number one, are, I'll be honest with you, I'd have to verify this, but I've looked at these pictures, I've called the shop, and of course, this particular maker, Rowan, doesn't put tags on their parts like you see some of the other aftermarket kit makers where they might put an emblem of some sort on their actual, part so that you know it's theirs. But I'll be honest with you, nobody else makes these parts. I've searched the internet over and I can't find any copycats, if you will. So I would assume that these are going to be authentic parts, but again, I can't make any promises. You'd have to inspect it. But let's look at this. Guys, the car is almost 100% built. Obviously, the maker was inspired by the vehicle that you're seeing on board. This is actually the Rowan customizing innovation car that they built to show off their parts, obviously. And let's just take a look at the top left-hand corner, and we're going to work our way all the way around and then fall back in the middle with the tire, the wheels, and the spring package or the suspension package on this. So guys, if you look at that rear bumper extension, right, it kind of insinuates the back bumper. And right there, we've got about $1,260 worth of trim work. And this comes in two different functions, right, or two different materials. One being a carbon fiber, which this is not, nor are these prices reflected. If this was carbon fiber, we'd probably be looking at about a 25 to 30% increase on the cost at the very least. But I've made sure that the prices that I've got here are actually the ones for the carbon reinforced plastic, okay? So you got $1,260 in that. If we come down to the bottom left, you can see that we got the front fender extension piece. And that piece right there actually does kind of create a almost like it's a custom fender, which I really do like on these high-end vehicles. But this one obviously is just a little, that little black piece that you see right there, and it very much does give a definition to the vehicle. If we keep going around, the picture here shows carbon fiber, but the rear spoiler is again not carbon fiber. It is black, a gloss black to match the rest of the parts on the vehicle. That's going to set you back $1,365. Okay. If we move on to I'm sorry guys, that's a typo there, but that rear bumper is actually $2,730. So I apologize here. I'm looking at a couple typos that I mistakenly put in here. But that is a $2,730, and that's for that entire rear diffuser. So it replaces the factory diffuser. It also allows you to get exposure to extended exhaust tips on your vehicle, or if you want to go with an aftermarket exhaust, you'd obviously be able to put that here as well. Okay, move over to the side, and then we get these front fender extension trims. And I personally like this piece. This is a part that I would like to put in my own personal build, because it just insinuates that air duct on the back of the car that really makes this, that kind of goes into the widening of the rear end of this vehicle. That is absolutely sexy. So that is amazing. That price, I'm sorry guys, that is also a bit of a miss typo there, and that is actually $1,490. Okay, we jump up top and we can see the front bumper extension trim, which is really nice because if you guys have ever seen any of the pictures of a LCF or a model that many of us owners or enthusiasts for the Lexus LC500 were hoping that Lexus would come out with, the front bumper almost emulates what this trim does here. Without, obviously, there probably would be a little bit more black in this area and probably a more functioning grille. But that's a very attractive part. It really does make the front of the vehicle look a little bit more aggressive and sporty. And that absolutely comes in at that $1,490 that I've got illustrated there. So guys, we've got a lot of money in aftermarket body parts here, right? And I won't say they're not wild, but it is a bit different than the OEM appearance. But still, I would say tastefully done. Now, when we go into the wheels, I tried my best to find the exact wheels that this person had purchased. But what I can tell you is they're BC forged wheels. So these are forged aluminum wheels. And the ones that I could find that replicated theirs were about $3,700, okay, for the set. I know for a fact, because I'm able to see through the picture, that he has Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which are amazing tires on the vehicle, and that's gonna set you back another $2,200. Now the suspension is more than likely not coilovers, but I can't confirm, so I'm gonna go more conservatively and say that these are springs. Okay, if they are springs, they are more than likely, with the amount of money that he's put into this build, he or she, they probably went with at least the RSR, which is the premium spring setup for this vehicle. Coilovers from RSR are my personal taste, but I can tell I've looked at enough pictures with RSR springs on it, and I can tell just the slight height in the front that helps me to really think that this is absolutely going to be the RSR springs. But those are going to set you back 800 bucks. And the one thing I want to call out here about guys is that all of these prices are just the price for the material. None of this stuff is shipped. None of this stuff is installed on your car. So you can absolutely expect more money, probably a couple more $1,000 just to get these tires and wheels mounted and balanced, to get the trim all installed onto the vehicle, to get the tint that we talked about. Okay, so you're absolutely looking at, really, after I did the rework plus adding in the tint that he's done to the vehicle, which again is probably going to be a $500 to $1,000 upgrade, you're actually looking at $17,800 worth of goodies. Okay. And again, that doesn't include the installation. It doesn't include the shipping. So all in all, you probably have somewhere of about $20,000 worth of aftermarket parts built in here. Okay. So that's a lot about the parts, because I really want to talk about that. But let's kind of talk about my grade. Guys, I'll be honest with you. Here's a picture of that comp car that I was talking about earlier. You know, Lexus does such a tremendous job with the design on this vehicle, and the 21-inch wheels from the Lexus just really do make this car look amazing. Although I won't lie, I really do like the wheels that he's chosen for the vehicle. They look great. They're a little bit more stanced. They've got a wider tire setup than the OEM, but I'm going to give this a B plus, guys, and here's why. I think I would probably fall in love with this car if I saw it face to face. But what I'd have to contend with is that I'm paying $11,000 premium for all the goodies here. So I could almost buy the vehicle in the top corner, and I've got a $11,000 budget to go out and build and buy whatever I want to. And sure enough, I wouldn't be able to replicate what this individual has done, but I'd be able to do a few things that I think I could actually probably modify the vehicle that might be a bit more to my liking. With that said, what could take this from a B plus to an A? Absolutely the price. If we saw this price go down to $69,999, right under $70,000, guys, my eyes are wide and I want to look and see even more closely on exactly what this vehicle is, right? I would even book a test drive and get me a flight up to New York to make that happen. We start getting closer to mid 60s, and I might be all in, because then you're probably paying 25% for the customized parts here. And I can tell you what, this agrees with my taste enough to do that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this closer look. We look to bring more of these to you, especially with custom vehicles in the market, just so that you can do a nice comparison and really get a little bit more information around it. Obviously, none of this stuff is my opinion or my decision for you to go and buy. This is just giving you a little bit more opinion, giving you an aspect of how I look at it and see it, so that you can make the best decision possible. Thank you guys so much for joining us again this week. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a wonderful Super Bowl weekend. Godspeed.